Hi everyone, this is GFP. It is 7:51 a.m. October 12, 2019. A few years ago I made a video about ancient proof of Planet X. And from the Thunderbolt project, let me show you. On the Electric Universe, symbols of an alien sky from the Thunderbolt project showed a lot of images which I'm going to show you in this video. Please, this guy is Electric Universe. You need to subscribe to him if you're missing out. But let's show you some of the pictures. What I believe over the course of 5, 6, 7, 8 years, that during the arrival of Planet X, that the world had been seeing images like this written in rock from around the world. In China, we see this same formation, this stick figure like men, all around the world. Not forget where some of these are. This is what we think Venus or Mars interacting with each other. And we see these stick figure like things everywhere, especially this one here. Perhaps back then they thought it was an alien god, and this wheel here and a pillar here. We kept seeing this reoccurring pictures around the world according to Alien Sky. Arizona, Mesopotamia, Troy. And when you get to wielding thunder, sticks of thunder, things that look like the Berkeley currents. Let's see, there's more wheels everywhere. What were they really seeing? Something in the sky. This was spotted in California. And I'm just going to scan through this real fast. Babylonian. We get to more of these stick figures. Here it's etched in stone. Here that they witnessed something in the sky and etched it into the rock. And these are some of the artwork that was found. Is this what they observed in the sky? My question is, if Planet X is here, which I expect it is, radio discharge, everybody's seen this at those fun stars. This is a picture of Berkeley currents. The cosmic thunderbolt, all of these thunderbolts, Berkeley currents feeding us planetary energy, and even artwork that was sculpted in the like manner, gods wielding thunder. Check this out, right? So this is that was in Hawaii, right? Wisconsin, more in Hawaii. These stick figure thing, what is it? There's lots of them. Well, according to the plasma bowl experiments, they actually had two bowls and created the same image that we see here. These are the two bowls. On the outline, it forms the same stick figure. If we take away the center, we get the stick figure man right there. This is what we've seen. These are the pillars of light that we keep seeing, and even lightning coming from it. Some could be from Planet X, directed energy weapons, and some could be the actual discharging of planets. Why aren't we seeing this etching in the rocks? Well, behold. Let's go to a video that was captured. Check this out. This happened silently. And what I'm going to suggest to you is the Cloaked TR3B craft is diffusing this energy. So this is basically making this normal. Let me play this real time. This is some crazy footage. Look what happens next. Look how it distorts. And for a moment, you see that stick figure like thing. And because the plasma arcing between planets, this was captured just 2017. Now that I believe they have an army of these ships available, that follow between the two planets, or the three planets, keeping us from blocking them, using all kinds of fun methods like cloud seeding and manufacturing clouds before our very eyes. But the plasma here distorts the lens and just has like this warp effect. And we could see this stick figure, stickman thing right here. Look at that. It's straight out of that profile right there. I had to slow this down. This all actually happened in a 1 second. Just look at that. Just opens up. Okay, so embed that in your mind. Why are we not seeing more of this? Look at the plot. Look how it's coming off the edge too, right? I would expect that in a plasma event. Okay, I'm going to take you to another video that I made with Heather444, who captured the crazy horizontal lightning. I'm going to play this full speed. And oh yeah, let me turn the sound on here. Now I want you to count the lightning and notice the total absence of thunder. No thunder. I can only hear rain. Right? And that just goes out this whole video. I'll leave a link for that. And now it's happening worldwide. So now I'm on the Revealing Unknown channel. Parallels. Got to check this out. And you can see that he gave me full permission. He would be honored. So I'd give him credit like I'm doing right now. I will leave a link in the description box. Let's check out what he captured. And it just looks like something from a television screen. And I'm going to fast forward to here.
You'd have to hit on this side and get it working right again. So, I don't know. Give me your opinion.
It's very short.
Give me your take on this. Much love, much respect. And God bless you and yours.
One thunder. That was some crazy stuff. Well, I've got a special treat for you today. Remember the total absence of thunder here. You're going to love this. And what my theory on take on what this is. So I uploaded this into a program here. And I want to focus your attention. I'm not sorry I can't enlarge this program at the same time and show you what I want to show you. At this point in the video, it did pause right here. Okay. Without giving you this is just crazy. So I put some lines in this video as it plays along, and you see this blue line here and this blue line here. I want to show you just how many times that there is a division of dark and light right on this path right here. And I think I figured this out. So what we have here, I believe, is a TR3B craft hovering and diffusing that energy so we no longer see the pillars of light, because that would just be some pretty freaky stuff. Instead, these crafts can park underneath it and hide this thing. So we get to see this vertical or horizontal light show instead. I thought this capture here was just so exceptional. I'm going to zoom that in on a later capture. But I'm going to let this play through. I've got these marks down here to kind of show you where the biggest events are. Taking that same snapshot, I'm going to play through just where the lights are. So here we have one here at the 21-second mark. we could see that this line falls right here. Okay? And we go to play through. I'll just scroll forward. And we also have other common marks here where it reoccurs along these same lines. What are the odds, right? That it just keeps lining up on this thing. So it must be, I believe the electricity is falling up and down. Here we can see it traveling on this line. You can see, and multiple times we're going to see it land on these exact same lines. I've heard some of this lamest excuse. It's horizontal banding. The camera can't take it. And, you know, so let's go to the next marker here. And we can see, clearly we see along this purple mark here, that you can see I laid down, established this baseline here. Notice the lightning is from basically almost pretty much behind the trees, right? And then, so it flashes high and low. Like first the light beam is below that mark, and then it's above that mark. This is a cell phone, okay? So you're going to say the camera couldn't take it, so it did banding like this. It's just the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard. Here I could pause it here, because I'm going to debunk that camera banding nonsense in a minute. Here we see the appearance of this line right here once again. So I say that there's a craft part just above here diffusing this energy from this plasma vent that I showed you earlier. Then we're going to the next marker here. You can see that we do have a faint line here at this point, and a more marker here. And here again, for the second or third time, we can start to see this thin line at this point. What are the odds that it's going to keep happening at that point? Thanks to the steady hands, that was pretty amazing that we could keep and establish a baseline in this very short video. I had to slow it down 8 times to capture that. You saw how short the actual video was. So now we do see another line here near this marker here. That's why I put this marker here. The bottom vertical ones are time markers, just to capture the position of this. Okay, and look at this once again. You can see that this one appears on this line. Let's go back. Some are kind of faint. Here's a faint one. We can see it lining up with this blue line once again. I think it's just diffusing the energy along this path. The strange thing is usually what we see is it's polarized. See how the light on the bottom? And now it's on the top. Look at that. Going right through at that point. I think it's passing the energy through. Now look at this. You see how the light is more bright here? Like this is the source or a point of contact. And you can almost make out a faint line here. You really should go back and watch this on a PC. Look, a third time appearance along this blue line here. And now, look at this. We're going to see this again, too, right here on this point. Recurring. What are the odds? Like I showed you at the early part of this snapshot. This is some crazy stuff. And we see it's aligned here, too. I think this thing is just simply diffusing the downward energy upward as the electrical forces meet in the middle, and basically sending it horizontally instead of vertical, so we're not going to get those beams of light, and making it normalize. Here we see the appearance of this line once again here. Dark, and then light. And I didn't fail to put a marker here. Here we can see the camera is responding. We see another line here. Keep in mind, this is a cell phone. And we get another line here near this blue mark here. And you can see that I set a marker here to see that I think that all this energy. Now, where's your banding now? Right? So if the camera can't handle it, it's certainly handling it now. I mean, if someone knows how a freaking camera works, why would it horizontal banding? You just like totally make that up. I wonder if that's even a Wikipedia. Oh, look at this one here. Now we see a matching line here that I already marked 2 or 3 times. I mean, you could go back and we fast forward. We keep seeing these horizontal lines. I think it's simply because of the craft. Here we see a faint line here, fairly faint. I put a time marker here. This one here is kind of neat. You can see I kind of made a marker here, how bright it is. And I'm going to play through. This one's going to be cool. All right. I love this shot because where's your banding now? Is it the camera? It's just as bright. Nothing's changed, but yet the whole sky's lit up. I think it's just that transition time as it travels across the surface of the ship. And I'm going to get into the UFO patent and how they're able to do this through ceramic metals called cermet. Ceramic metal infused ceramics in the whole of their crafts that helps them levitate. Here we go. This blue line. What is this? Number 4. We see this perfect alignment between these two bars. Remember I said how many times we're going to see this perfect alignment. What are the odds? Why did it choose? This is just my theory, and I can't say the only one that seems to make any sense. Look at that. What do we got? Number 5, still lined up on this line. See the energy passing downward. Look at that. It's like the opposite of this thing. Do you see that? What is that? Number 6? 1 minute it's dark on that side, and then it's light on that side. I don't know all the technical aspects of this, but I do believe this is the result of energy, high voltage between planetary objects traveling through a spacecraft or Earthcraft that's levitating silently in space. And I will go over the patent in a minute. I figure you wouldn't want to spoil this. Look at this, no banding here. This energy traveling across the surface of the ship. Here we can see a faint line through this as well. But there is 1 minute they're banding, 1 minute it's not. So if there's your debunk, where's your banding now? It's still bright. So it's not something on the camera. It can totally handle the brightness, and it wouldn't be banding like that. It would just be too bright. It doesn't just like create a vertical line for no reason. And here we could see this line here, this purple one of recurring. And then here we see what appears the source of light coming from the top, heading down, and as it transmits at the bottom. Just going through the spacecraft. Once again, here we go with the blue line, right as it should be. Let's see if I can zoom that out a little bit so you can see how it's coming off the top of this craft. And look at that energy dispersion as it shoots downward from that point. And I think that's the only explanation, is there something in the path of this light, of this energy traveling between planets, kind of similar to the aurora borealis effect. Here we get probably along one of the seams of the ship. As it disperses and redistributes the energy from a vertical to a horizontal. Here's one in the middle I didn't set a marker for, but let's go to the next one. Here we could see somewhat faint line and electricity coming up. And then to a most spectacular shot towards the end. Now we could see the different levels of this all happening within a tiny fraction of a second. Keep in mind, this all happened. This is slowed down 8 times just so I can even capture this. Here we can see a V-like formation coming up here. It certainly doesn't look like lightning, that's for sure. And by the way, there was no thunder. And then last but not least, at the end of the video was the best shot yet. If I get it right on that spot here. Once again, there was no banding. The camera's just as light. And then we see energy. Oh, look. On that blue line, once again, what are the odds? And then, if I catch it right there, lo and behold, that's going to be my thumbnail right there. Look at that. And now, we can see it. Energy. You see the pattern here? It just travels through this ship. So now, I'm going to play the video and just let it play it straight through. Well, let's skip forward. You know what? I take that back. I got a better shot. Okay. So this is full screen. We're going to show some of those shots on a full screen since you're saw on a small screen. You want to see a big one? Here we go. In fact, I don't have the time markers on this one, so look how bright that is. Where's your camera banding there? Here you can see it banding right at that point. On the small screen, it was hard to see. Now you're going to see it in full screen mode. It was the only way I could figure out a way to show you the continuous lines, how they kept appearing at the exact same level. Remember that shot? Look at that. We could try and zoom that in just for a second. Looks like we almost see a ball-like thing here too, right here. Hold on, if that was very top of the craft, right? It's like this guy was like looking right at the UFO itself on the at it. And here we see what Aurora Borealis like effect at top. I mean, why is the electricity not traveling through that dark spot? I believe there's something there. Look at the multiple bands of grayness here. As this craft, oh wow, that's just amazing. And I get to the best part again towards the very end, about near the last 7 seconds of the video. We're going to see the cosmic kill shot right there. Look at that. Let's stop that. Look at that. Thank you so much for that footage. I think that is just the most telling thing of all. It just took a lot of, I've seen this before. Now I think I know what it is. Now when we call this project Bluebeam, I think what we're saying here is it's part of the deception, and one of the main objective for having this spacecraft here is to follow in the path of Planet X so that we'll never get to see it from the sky. And then as the let me show you some distortions from these crafts here. This is from very subscribers. Buffalo Skywatcher captured this distortion-like effect. We could see the V formation of these two crafts here. And the distortion, let's see if I could turn the sound up on this. Turn down the volume. Listen what it does to the camera aperture. Let's see, I'll get where it distorts it once again as the magnetic field. Here, check this out. This is just crazy. Listen to the camera as it goes berserk. You can't find a focus point because of the magnetic forces underneath it. I don't know if you can hear that with over the motor. It's like this strange buzzing sound. This isn't the first time. You can go back and watch. I have plenty of videos on this, or quite a few. Let's go back to the earlier one here. And keep in mind, look at that distortion right here. That's just one video. We got a couple more. Let's see. Oh, check this one. Listen to the buzzing noise. Just found that perfect magnetic sweet spot and reacting with the lens. That's crazy. Love it. Buffalo Skywatcher, thank you again. And let's see. There's quite a few. Here's another classic one. Listen to the static. Same person, different area. Buffalo, New York. Thank you, Buffalo Skywatcher, who just happens to be underneath these crafts when this thing is happening. Look at that. Let's forward to the next distortion here. Nobody's too experienced with cameras. You know how your camera works, and you shouldn't be getting this. That's what caught their eye when they started catching this stuff. Like, what the heck's going on with the camera? And you can find people like this all over YouTube. Hey, you may have some extra for this. You can send them to this video. These are the TR3B craft, the tutorial fields. Huh. You know, doesn't that look almost like those sun halos that we see? You catch it right, the right spot right here. Remember those double halos? Well, I don't cause any confusion with that. It's just saying it kind of looks like it. Do you hear that distortion? All right. And now for a little predictive programming from a movie like Chicken Little.
What if you found out the sky was falling?
Yeah, the sky is falling. Let's play the video. I think this is kind of what's going to happen. So there's elements of truth to this. So Chicken Little sees a cloaking shield here, and they all come seeing. Look what happens to the sky as it folds out and the aliens come down, right? And then they start zapping everybody, right? Look at that right here. They look up. The sky is filled with cloaked spaceships, and these aliens come down, which are not benevolent. They hate our guts, and they start zapping everybody ruthlessly. Of course, remember, Chicken Little was right, so go ahead and call me Chicken Little, because he was right. No one wants to say the truth. And here's a couple of other pictures and videos. This one here I found one of the most compelling shots, and here we could clearly see what appears to be a multi-level craft floating between the clouds. And look at these. These are those what I call the popcorn clouds that they come along and they basically create the clouds just like I've captured in this video. You can see this, and then they form the dark halos. There's the V-shaped tail going for freaking many miles. That's from Roseville all the way to Sacramento. And that was supposed to be a mostly sunny day, and yet this path followed the sun all day long. In this video I caught myself, we can see the triangle-shaped craft here. See my cursor? And this one here with a little curve to it here. And here. These strange-looking clouds literally appear within minutes and disappear within minutes because they're not supposed to be there, because it was like 100 degrees outside, and yet cloud is condensating over my head and dissipating just as fast. It's basically superheated steam. Yeah. It's just And here we can see these artificial clouds being created overhead. And this is how they hide Planet X. This is how they hide the pillars of light that we expected to see from, like, the Thunderbolt project. Now, some of those pillars of lights are directed energy weapons and maybe some Project Bluebeam stuff. But I also believe that these crafts are equipped with holographic projectors underneath. In fact, here is a patent for it. It's the U.S. patent 2018-0229864A1. Right here. It was released in 2008. Soft disclosure. It's really amazing. If you want to know more about it, here's how they actually finally created their first room temperature superconductor using sound along the path where they wanted the high voltage superconductor. They're using sound to suppress, to create the, I made a whole video on it. You don't want to go a lot of detail. This thing creates sound, ripples, waves, scalar waves, and the whole of the ship is made of what they call a ceramic metal, metal infused ceramics. And yeah, it's pretty impressive. These things rotate counter direction, opposite of one another, so that the whole thing doesn't spin. Look at that. So here you go. Didn't want to go into detail, but the surface of the ship, outer shell servers, microwave emitters, sound generators, acoustic, vibration, resonant gas-filled cavities that can be electrically charged when vibrated with acoustic energy from the sound generators that create a second electromagnetic field is generated. The two acoustic vibration resonant gas-filled cavities are able to counterspin relative to each other. Like I said, these things rotate and propagate. These sound waves travel through another set of sound waves, and then they create these high, man, it's a long acronym, a high frequency gravitational wave generator. So there you have it. U.S. patent. What are they doing with this stuff? Look at this stuff. They could, especially rapid accelerator or spin vibration, electrically charged object puts every point on the boundary. Oh, I'm sorry. Talked about planetary, man, like stopping a disaster pretty much, like asteroid deflections and stuff like that. Used for advanced propulsion, asteroid disruption or deflection, and communications through solid objects. And I believe it means it actually, when it cloaks itself through its high plasma cavity, it just literally won't be a part of this world. It can go through objects, or objects who travel through it, planes, anything else. And you can just go back and read this metal that they use too is semi-radioactive, so that it can further transmit this energy. It's pretty crazy. Yep. So here is a comparison of what I captured, what's etched all the way around the world, and the plasma volt experiments, all showing pillars of light at different degrees of pillars of light. And there's just a fun little video of a form of lightning. It's kind of irrelevant, but I'll show you anyways. Wait, let me play the sound on this one. Yeah, it's pretty cool. Remember that level, that kind of energy when when the electrical energy expands and superheats the air, it expands out, and then when it's gone, it suddenly collapses back in on itself at the speed of sound, and that's where we get our thunder. However, that's definitely not what we experienced in the horizontal lightning show, thanks to the TR3B crafts. That's my theory. I may be wrong, but I think it's the better explanation of what we're seeing in the skies. I hope you like this video. Please copy, like, and share. Have a blessed day.